People often ask the question, is the American dream dead? I believe the moment we stop dreaming, we might as well be. Hi, I'm your host, Craig Sewing, the creator of American Dream TV, a national TV show centered around real estate, lifestyle, and culture. A real show showing you real neighborhoods from real professionals. Today, we're going to take you all across the country, showing you why we live in the greatest country on the planet. Let's get this show started right now. Welcome to the American Dream.
The American Dream.
You're watching The American Dream.
The American Dream.
Showing you the real estate, the lifestyle, the culture.
Let's get this party started right now.
Let's go do this.
It is heating up once again.
We're the Davids going up against the Goliath. Real stories in real neighborhoods with real experts.
The staple of the neighborhood. Can't wait to present it to you.
It's all about lifestyle.
In your community.
That's what this show, The American Dream, is all about. Cheers to your American Dream.
Welcome to the world's most influential city. I'm your host, Kara Chafin-Donofrio, and today we're in a city that needs no introduction. Washington, D.C. is known for politics, power, and history. All you have to do is look around at the monument behind me, the museums, and even the iconic White House just down the street. D.C. is the heart of American history and governance, influencing policies all over the world. But beyond the politics and historical landmarks, there's another side to D.C. It's the nightlife. Yes, this city that governs global politics also knows how to let loose. And today, we're giving you a front row seat. And here's the king of the clubs himself, Michael Romeo. Now, Michael, your name is synonymous with DC nightlife. So take us back to one of your first clubs, Fur, that was really what put you on the map for the DC nightlife scene.
But Fur was something very special. You know what Fur was? Fur was like a mall. It was like a mall. The reason it was a mall, you know how you go to a mall a few times, right? You have to go a few times to find your favorite store. And what was neat about Fur was it was all one big room, separated in 5 different dance floors, right? So if you came the first time, you would have no idea what's going on. You have to go 5 times to really find out what Fur was about. And then the 6th time you go, you have your own favorite section. You know, so it was kind of cool, and having all the big DJs.
How did you draw in those big DJ names? Because you had big celebrities, big DJ names, and you really drew them in to the venue.
You know, the thing is, I teamed up with somebody good, Glow. They were really good. So we put a lot of money up front, and they needed like not just a warehouse space, but a luxurious nightclub. And Fur was very luxurious. It didn't feel like a warehouse at all. And it was called Fur because it was the biggest fur factory ever. So that's why I used the name Fur. And we did so many private events when Obama was elected, all those events, so many things for senators, congressmen, every big DJ you can think of, anything and everything you can think of, it's been done there. And I love concepts, because concept is like setting up trends, like fashion, anything, being in charge of it. So what's neat is 20 years ago, even 2025, you build it, they come. Now that whole philosophy it's not true. There's too many places. Now people know about quality. They know, that their needs standards have gotten higher in some ways, for the better. So this place is cool because this was the first time I focused first on the food. This is the biggest kitchen I ever had. And the thing is, I want the food to be good here, number one. I don't want people to eat the food and get tired. So everything's pretty healthy. The menu is good. It's coastal Mediterranean. I want people to be entertained with it. Like enjoy the food, atmosphere. Then all the things we're gonna do are so different. We're gonna do like for music, it's really cool. We're gonna do like a Circus Soleil show, 4-course dinner. I want to entertain people. I want people to have fun. Some people do it at home. This is like my home. So it's kind of neat to entertain people and watch them have a good time. And you have to create all that, the atmosphere, the music, the ambience. It's a lot. And I did it differently.
I I know you're really visionary in terms of how you think of spaces. So how did you think about that in this space?
You know, what it is I want people, when you walk into a space, I want you to walk down the staircase and have everything hit you like a big wave, all at once. Otherwise, a lot of times it doesn't hit people that way. Certain things, you know, it separates it. It doesn't get that feel to it. And over here, when you walk down, you're always like, wow, wow. It's neat, you know, just like seeing people come down the staircase and people look out the window for the last few months. It's neat. They look in, they're like, what is in there? And I see everybody doing this. It's kind of cool, honestly. What's really cool is before I opened up, without any advertisement, anything, people were booking private events. It was unbelievable. And now, when I had the side room, it's called the side room, which means everything is more fun on the side, you know? So you gotta have this funny humor, let people think different things. It brings people together. I always do everything with phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I always want to add more things. So that's going to be another good addition, probably 6 weeks from now, it'll be open.
Any fun drinks that you're working on right now?
You know, the thing is, I love tequila. So Ashley makes a really good drink. It's called Spicy Mike. She makes it really spicy for me. I like it. It's healthy. It has fresh squeezed juice in it.
And there you have it. Washington, D.C. is more than politics and history, thanks to visionaries changing the nightlife scene like Michael Romeo. So the next time you're in Washington, D.C., think beyond the National Mall and think about all the places to explore after dark.
On St. Elmo.
On one side of the river, you have the power and influence of Washington, D.C.
And on the other, you have the history and charm of Old Town Alexandria. I'm Ruth.
I'm Ray.
Let's go check it out.
Old Town Alexandria is a unique, historic community with a vibrant art scene, esteemed restaurants, and boutique shops. You can even enjoy a drink where George Washington and Thomas Jefferson used to dine. Founded as a seaport in 1749, Alexandria has always greeted visitors from near and far. All of this is what makes Old Town Alexandria one of the top choices for homebuyers and tourists alike.
The torpedo factory was founded in 1918, and yes, indeed, it did supply torpedoes during World War II. Today, it is a one-of-a-kind waterfront art complex, which is home to more than 80 art studios, galleries, and workshops. You can find a multitude of mediums, from painting to sculpture.
You can even buy artwork directly from the artists. Let's check it out.
Lisa's been an artist here at the Torpedo Factory for what?
20 years,
20
yeah.
years.
And I used to break in here when I was a kid, so I was here even before that. And I helped with the renovations in 1974, like, you know, painting walls and sweeping up Pigeon.
This is the 50th year anniversary of the Torpedo Factory as an art gallery?
Yep, 1974, the summer of 1974 it opened up. So we've been an art center with open studios and working studios, which I think is really important. We're one of the only places where you can actually come and see people work. When you guys got here, I was working on a piece. I'm covered in clay, as I am every day here at the Torpedo Factory.
I read somewhere that there's over 500,000 tourists that come through this place each year.
It's crazy.
Gatsby's Tavern consists of two buildings. It was built circa 1785. This tavern was a center of economic, political, and social life in the late 1700s and early 1800s.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and many other prominent men of the time used to dine and stay here. You can still step back in time here and enjoy a meal at the tavern or tour the museum, but be warned, it's rumored to still be haunted to this day. We are here with Julia, the museum's educator of today. She's been here for about 3 years, you said. Julia, can you tell us a little bit about what makes Gatsby's Tavern unique and a little bit about the two different buildings?
Yes, so we're currently in the dining room of the 1785 Tavern. This business is two buildings, the museum is two buildings. So there's one from 1785, one from 1792.
Whether it's history or after, good food, the arts, or entertainment, you can find it all here in the vibrant community of Old Town Alexandria.
There's so much more to do and see here. We hope you come visit us soon.
Hello and welcome to the American Dream. My name is Chris Dudley and I'm your host. Today we are in historic Occoquan, Virginia. This town has got lots of great shops and restaurants, lots to do. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go chat to one of the local restaurants I like called The Spot on Mill Street. And after that, we're going to go talk to a developer who's got all of this new construction ideas for redeveloping everything on the waterfront. But first, let's go chat to the mayor of Occoquan. Hello, I'm here with Mayor Porter in historic Occoquan. Mayor Porter, it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to ask you, first of all, tell me about historic Occoquan and why visitors like to come to this area.
Well, people tell us, and we consider this to be true, that Occoquan is an oasis in an otherwise very busy area. One of the things we think draw people here is that in a relatively small area, they have a variety of things that they can do. We have an eclectic mix of shops and restaurants. We have a number of historic sites and historic buildings and historic markers. We also have opportunities for natural recreation.
Tell me, how old is this town?
So this town dates back to the 1700s, about the middle of the 18th century.
Shops and restaurants, you just mentioned you have quite a few of them. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, we have what I call an eclectic mix of modern and more traditional shops. So we have traditional sort of antique stores and things like that. We have more modern boutiques. In terms of restaurants, we have more than a dozen different restaurants.
Are there any kind of events that happen on a regular basis here in Occoquan?
Yeah, we're really proud of the fact that we have events every month of the year with the exception of January. We have two major events, a spring and fall arts and crafts show. We call the spring one Riverfest because we try to focus on the Occoquan River. Then we also have a different variety of artisan markets throughout the year. Now that we're in the winter holiday season, we have a lot of things coming up.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to bringing Occoquan to our viewers.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for being here.
And here we are with Kevin Sills. He's a local developer. Very nice to meet you.
Good morning.
Tell me about this lovely project you're about to start here in Occoquan.
Well, this is the Mill at Occoquan project. This will be a 50 residential condos and 7,000 square foot of retail space.
When do you expect to break ground and finish the project?
We expect that we will break ground in the late spring 2025, take approximately 14 months to complete the construction.
What's the project going to be? You mentioned some retail and condos as well?
Yes, we have 50 residential condos, 1s, 2s, and 3-bedroom units, along with 7,000 square foot of high-end retail.
Now, what's going to be built inside the building? You said retail, you said commercial, but you also said some residential. What's going to happen inside?
Well, we have, like I said, we have 50 units, we have flat units, we have duplex units, we have very, very high-end features within these units. We have a huge homeowners area, which includes a almost 14,000 square feet of high-end gym, yoga rooms, group rooms, outside grills, and all types of very high-end finishes. They're going to be very, this is something that's not going to be available anywhere in the Washington metro area. I'd put it up against anything we have.
Well, Kevin, I wanted to thank you so much for educating us about what's about to happen here in Occoquan, and I greatly appreciate looking forward to seeing what's happening.
Thank you for your interest. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Hey guys, here we are at the Spot on Mill Street. They're famous for their bourbons and their scotches. They're even more famous for their charcuterie boards. Let's go take a look. We are inside the Spot on Mill Street, and I'm here with the owners, David and Denise. Nice to see you guys again.
You as well.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your restaurant.
Well, this was a venture that we kind of came up with when we first met. We met January of 2010, and money was our object. What would we do? And we said, yeah, we'll probably own a local hangout. And almost 10 years to the day, we opened here.
There's some history behind this building, right?
Yes, this building is the oldest structure here in Occoquan. It is the second oldest privately held structure in the county of Prince William County. The oldest is Bel Air Plantation, 1740. It was built in 1740. This house was built in 1750. And the great piece of history about both locations is that George Washington has stayed at both places.
Well, you know, one of the things I've noticed which is different about this place, the last time I came here, is you've got this huge selection of bourbons and whiskeys. And wow, I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that the state has been very, very good to us with the selections. I have to get everything from the state, so everything you see here is possibly available with Virginia.
Okay, is there anything else you want us to tell our viewers?
I just want to let everyone know that we are a community-based restaurant bar.
Here's to the Spot on Mill Street, and cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's been a pleasure to showcase historic Occoquan. I'm your host, Chris Dudley. Cheerio, see you next time.
Welcome everybody to downtown Annapolis. Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite places on earth and one of the biggest draws for tourists that are coming to the area. Two things that we love in this area, history and water. And before we get started on that, let's go get something to eat in one of the best places that we know. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. I absolutely love Iron Rooster. I've loved it since you guys opened this, and I just heard from you that we're about to hit 10 years of this. So what's that been like?
Wow, long. I can definitely say it's been a long 10 years. You know, you work hard in this business. We don't get there without the support of the community though. And when we opened 10 years ago, that was one of our driving factors, was being a cornerstone of this community was just absolutely the #1 focal point.
It's just been really cool to kind of see you guys grow and listen to your story, and I appreciate you letting us come here and share it.
I love being able to tell the story about Annapolis, and we don't survive 10 years in the restaurant business without the Annapolis community being our support hub. That's why we started this. That was the big reason. So no, I can't thank you guys enough for letting us tell the story.
Absolutely, man. We are lucky to have you and looking forward to the next 10 years.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Now that we've showed you one of our favorite breakfast spots in downtown Annapolis, let's go meet up with our tour guide. So we're here today with Mistress Marion, our 18th century tour guide, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about the history of Annapolis. So buckle up, people.
So we're right here in the heart of the colonial district of Annapolis, right in the historic district where it's full of 18th century buildings. And this one's this extra special one because this is the home of William Paca, who was one of the 4 Maryland signers of the Declaration of Independence. So one of the really neat things when you're walking along the streets of Annapolis is you can look on the buildings for the colored plaques. Each color tells you the era or the time period of those particular buildings.
So cool. We're in a really old town. When did Annapolis come about?
Maryland was formed by one individual, George Calvert, known as Lord Baltimore. He was the first Lord Baltimore. The first capital of Maryland is going to be St. Mary's City. It'll be there for about 60 years before it moves up the bay to a more centralized location, and Annapolis is established as the capital. And Annapolis is going to stay this little kind of time capsule of colonial charm that later is going to undergo great preservationist efforts to turn into the beautiful, wonderful city that so many love to come and live and work and visit from near and far.
Now, let's head to the waterfront to see another side of this amazing town. So I'm here today with Jake Iverson, owner-operator of Watermark Tours, probably the most famous tour guide that we have in Annapolis, and appreciate you having me today, man. Thank you very much for being a part of this.
Absolutely.
I want to share with the people the awesome brand story that Watermark Tours is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us. The Watermark started back in the early 70s. We started out with a route going over to St. Michael's. Soon after that, we started many local tours here in Annapolis, a lot shorter than the full day on the bay trips and that's what we have today. We have multiple trips, and in 2004 we acquired 3 Centuries Tours, which is our land side of the business. So not only are we on the water, since the 70s, but since the early 2000s we've also been doing the land portion, which really ties well in with our school groups. It's part of their education, learning about the history of Maryland.
No doubt, man. I think it's one of the coolest things that we have in Annapolis, being able to talk about the history and then show people some of the fun side that's still around today. Captain Christian, thank you so much for having us come on board the Harbor Queen. I figured there's no better way to experience Annapolis than by water. So tell me a little bit about, one of your favorite things about captaining the ship.
Just the variety of customers we get. Like right now we have a school group boarding. It's really easy to take for granted what we have here, being on the water, experiencing the Naval Academy and whatnot.
Kids are coming on.
Yep.
Get to it, man.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much for letting us steal you for a few minutes. Thank you for joining me this week with 2 incredible staples of downtown Annapolis, with Iron Rooster, one of the most incredible comfort food spots that we have in Annapolis, to Watermark Tours, the best way to see the water from downtown. Join me next time on the American Dream TV.
Fortunately, there is a truly remarkable range of watering holes where you can do just that. I'm your host, Jed Williams, and I'm going to introduce you to 2 of the region's best, albeit very different places where you can blow off steam and down a drink, as we toast the American dream right here in the TMV. Our first stop today, Maryland's own Brookeville Beer Farm. Founded in 2015 by locals Phil Muth, Tim McDonald, and head brewer Kenny Borkman, the beer farm is all about community, creativity, and keeping it farm fresh. Every detail of the design here is deliberate.
We've expanded our agriculture here at the farm tremendously in the last couple of years. We grew our own hops, which went into our Niles Pale Ale, which was phenomenal. We used our nugget hops. We also grow all sorts of vegetables.
Where did the inspiration come from to source the ingredients locally?
I believe that's part of our mission statement, is that we try and be as organic and as local as humanly possible.
All three of them are still involved, right?
Oh yes. Kenny, Phil, and Tim are here on the regular, and they are still hands-on and loving what we're doing.
What inspired them to start Brookeville in the first place?
Well, Tim and Phil are amazing businessmen. They've both been very successful in many different businesses in their life. They met up with Kenny, and Kenny is a master brewer. He joined in, and it all just came to fruition. Glorious. A lot of hard work went into breaking ground here and rebuilding the patio areas and making this from the garden center that it was into this magnificent brewery.
What is it, do you think, that really makes the Brookeville Beer Farm so unique?
I think it's that feeling that it is your neighborhood bar. It's you. Anyone is welcome here. The clientele ranges from your businessmen to your kids' soccer league that comes in, to corporate parties, to our local neighbors that just come by just because this is their place to go.
This is the South of Sunshine beer, right? So some of this comes from the ingredients you grow on site?
It is, absolutely. So this is our South of Sunshine, which is our jalapeno Belgian. We grew the jalapenos right out in the field. Our honey is from our beehives right out there. So we took the honey and we put them with the jalapenos and we slow roasted them to perfection. And then we added it to the beer, and it is spectacular.
That is some sweet, spicy goodness. I like to think of the Brookeville Beer Farm as what you would get if the bar from Cheers had a love child with the bartender, Woody Harrelson, and then that was raised by Greta Thunberg. It's like the perfect place to have a fine beverage with farm-fresh food, surrounded by friendly faces. That's a pretty rare find in the DMV. But now, we're about to hop across the river to Manassas, Virginia for a very different kind of vibe. Farm Brew Live is a 12-acre campus of breweries, restaurants, food trucks, and live music. Two Silos is one of the most decorated breweries I've ever seen. I'm not talking about the decor, I mean awards. This place has won Best Of for outdoor dining, cidery, and brewery in Virginia, Northern Virginia, and Prince William County. They've medaled in the US Open Beer Championship numerous times, including taking silver and bronze in 2024 and the gold in 21. So basically, that's a whole lot of people who really like beer telling you, you gotta try the beer. So, we're gonna try the beer. Now that is a lot of beer. Good beer. So maybe that's a little bit of a cheat code when I did say I was just showing you a place to grab a drink. But let's leave the bitterness for the IPAs. Trust me, you're gonna thank me. So raise your glass to living the American dream, right here in the DMV.
Welcome to American Dream. I am your host today, Sadaf, with Aloha Homes of Keller Williams Realty. Today I have a special guest and my co-host Melissa Fones. She is the Vice President of Business Development of Vesta Settlements, as well as one of the owners of Vesta.
Well, my name's Scott, and I'm the tasting room manager here at Old Farm Winery, and glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Scott, can you tell us your role here?
Sure. I oversee the tasting room here. Also, I'm in charge of wine club sales, so we obviously try to sell wine clubs, every day, and I'm in charge of making sure those club members are taken care of.
So I've never been here, so I'm very excited. This is my first time here. Can you tell us a little bit about the winery, the history?
Yeah, so it was opened November of 21. So we just had our 3-year anniversary party, actually. We're on 35 acres, and we have 9 acres of vines, so we grow 3 grapes here. And we have an event center, which you might have passed on your way in, so we have a lot of weddings and different social events there as well.
So can you tell us how many wines?
Yeah, we have 14 wines, and we have one hard apple cider in case people don't enjoy wine. But yeah, we have 14 wines. Most are a lot of reds, and we have about 3 or 4 whites.
So how about, I know events are a huge thing nowadays at wineries. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're able to facilitate?
Yeah, obviously the big ones are weddings. We just went through the busiest September and October. We had a lot of weddings.
So question, if I'm not getting married, but I want to host an event, maybe a corporate event or a neighborhood event, can I?
You can, yeah. You just deal with our sales team, and they would work with you, whether just for the manor house or the extension, and you can use the pavilion as well.
Melissa, thank you so much for joining me here today at the Old Farm Winery in Heartland. I know you and I have known each other for a very, very long time, and I appreciate your partnership with us. I know some of the buyers and sellers don't exactly know or understand what title companies do. Can you please explain?
Absolutely, but first let me say thank you for having me, because I really appreciate it.
It's always
we feel
a joy.
honored that we get to work with you.
Thank you.
So you're absolutely right. The average consumer that's buying or selling doesn't understand what a title company does. And frankly, I don't blame them. They have enough to worry about when they're buying or selling a house. So I think it's important. A title company plays 3 very distinct, but it kind of all comes together, roles in a real estate transaction. And the way I kind of like to think about it is a 3-legged stool. So the buyer and seller are the seat, at the center of a transaction. And during a real estate transaction, I think consumers often think about the agent and the lender bringing the money to the table, right? Those are the 2 kind of obvious roles, and they don't often think about a title company. And to be honest, when they do think about a title company, they frequently think of us in a more administrative role. It's really not the most important role that we play. It's crucial, but it's not the most important. I think what often gets overlooked is our role as an insurance agent. A consumer will frequently think about their homeowner's insurance first, but not title insurance. So the first role we play is that of an insurance agent selling title insurance. The second role is an administrative one, like I was saying. So I like to say that we're kind of like the conductor in the transaction. We're conducting all the different players in the transaction. We're working with the lender, we're working with the HOA, we're working with the real estate agents, we're ordering payoffs, we're preparing settlement statements. We're making sure that what is represented in the transaction is actually what is happening. Nice. And lastly, the third role that we play in a real estate transaction is that of settlement agent. So we're actually conducting the closing.
I'm going to ask you this question. What makes Vesta different from the others?
Oh, very good question, Sadaf. What matters is the people behind the service, and the people at Vesta Settlements understand exactly what I said earlier, which is you have to pay attention to the details, every detail, from how we answer the phone, how we answer questions, how our attorneys help with title issues, to how our settlement agent conducts a closing and recognizes the person in front of them and the emotion and the magnitude of the transaction that we're handling. Yeah. So it's showing up every day and understanding that we succeed one transaction at a time, one person at a time, one agent at a time. and giving that file, that transaction, the attention it deserves.
Cheers to our more partnerships.
Thank you so much
yes,
for your support,
of course.
Sadaf.
Thank
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for watching us today. Especially thank you to Melissa and Scott. I'm Sadaf Alhooie with Keller Williams Realty. Until next time, bye.
Thank you, Sadaf.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the American Dream TV. We created this show to combat negative media, to show that the American Dream is alive and well by showing you real stories in real neighborhoods. Thank you so much for watching the show, and cheers to your American Dream.